Waiting. Chat just kicked in. We all look frozen. I'm moving. I'm in some bright light, ladies and gentlemen. You can see me.
Chicka wow, chicka wow, chicka wow, chicka wow.
Okay. We didn't have the waiting thing on, so I don't know if anybody's jumping in yet.
Uh-oh. Who knows?
Oh, got a mute. Oh, there we go. Okay.
They'll find out sooner or later.
Pop that bad boy out.
They always figure it out sooner or later. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
I got a late start today because I didn't even know this would work. I didn't think I was going to have my internet hooked up until this week, but
Yeah.
I jumped on the ball.
Hey, Connor. So much. Like an alien.
Oh, shut up.
Alien all of a sudden coming up.
Oh, shut up. Chest burster.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Right? That's funny. That conversation's come up a few times this week. Give this guy some water. Water, man. This guy needs Pepto.
Johnny Payne Curtis is back. Woo!
I see that. Bo, shut up. Missed you last episode. Michael, I want to just jump in. Well, I don't know. We're going to mention this later. You mentioned the chest burster, and there's a board game that's really great that involves a chest burster. I'll tell you all about it. If you don't have anxiety, you will after playing this game, but that'll come later in the episode. We have more to talk about when more people show up. Connor, what's happening?
Connor.
I'm looking at his name in the chat like he's going to answer.
Everyone's favorite couple.
We were talking about secrets that only a few of us know right before airtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, scaly secrets.
You know what would be great is we might need a special plausible deniability guest.
This is true.
Oh, you are absolutely right.
Curtis was fighting a revolution in Spain. Viva la revolution. In the name of Bo Shutta.
Are you guys excited about Kenobi?
Very.
I am.
Very
I saw
excited.
the trailer. I love the fact. I mean, I know that we always want more, but I love the fact that they've already said limited series, boys and girls.
Yeah.
You know,
Until the audience speaks. Until the audience speaks. But I feel like because it's Disney, I feel like even though they said we're not getting him, I feel like just like we didn't get Andrew Garfield in the most recent Spider-Man, I feel like we're getting Darth Maul.
Oh, I expected him and was kind of disappointed we didn't see a teaser for him.
Brooke looked at me like I was crazy.
Well,
I don't know if when the new Spider-Man was coming out, they were like, yeah, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is not going to be in it. And on Twitter, and in interviews even, Andrew Garfield's like, they didn't contact me. I don't know. I heard Toby's going to be in it, but I'm not going to be, my Spider-Man's not going to be in it. And of course, really in my opinion, his Spider-Man was the star of the show once it got rolling. But But so I feel like they're doing that with Maul maybe because it's Disney still. So
see, here's the thing: is though that have you guys seen Rebels?
Yeah, you have to.
Yes,
because Darth Maul and Kenobi do meet back up.
Their final duel is on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Although Kenobi leaves Tatooine for the series, which is a smart move because if they're hunting him, he gets away from the boy he's supposed to be protecting.
But remember, Rebels doesn't happen until Luke is around 15, 16 years old. Because he's the exact same age as
Anakin.
Kid. What?
Same age as... He's the same age now as Anakin was when they found him.
No. Luke is as the kid in Rebels.
Ezra. Ezra Bridger.
He's the exact same age as Ezra because he was born on Empire Day. And so was Luke and Leia. They were born on Empire Day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they're the exact same age. So what we're seeing, Kenobi takes place when Luke's probably about 10 because he's on top of the little Tatooine house doing that little pod racer type thing. And he's going to be about like 10 years old.
The Tatooine house?
That little Tatooine dome.
He's on the entryway into the Lars homestead.
Yeah, that's like Tatooine house.
I don't believe this guy. Did you hear what he said?
It's
a Tatooine house.
It's a house on Tatooine.
No, I'm not quitting the episode. I'm going back. Yeah, I don't know.
Johnny somewhere in his brain has the address. It's like 475.
Right. It's just 3 cliques east of most Espa, just past the Judlin Wastes. Nestled between the Dune Sea, just forget it. The Tatooine house.
I'm still saying he's only about 10 years old, so this is well before he. I don't know. I don't think it would work to have Darth Maul in this.
You might be right.
Well, he could pop up on the other planet that he goes to, because it looks like he's messing with some syndicate and some pikes and some Red Sun. And if there's gang activity, we know what Maul's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Hal's got a point. Would it be Obi-2 Kenobi?
Yeah, I actually think what they really want to do is make this limited series so that it can spin off other stories.
I almost wondered if they want to make this limited as a series so they can do movies.
That would be cool.
I'm just really excited. I feel like there's a big build-up too with some of these series coming together. And you mentioned Rebels. I am really, really, really going to be disappointed if the Ahsoka series is not focused on finding Ezra, Thrawn, and the Space Whales. Because even her appearance in Mando, when she's fighting O-Girl that gives her the spear, she says, "Where is he? Where's your master? Where's Thrawn?"
Where's Thrawn?
So she's looking for him in known space. Mm-hmm. And time has passed. It's
10 years past. So what's happened? Where did they go?
Yep.
Yeah. And I'd be very interested to see that too. I think there's a lot of space for Star Wars. That's where I think the trilogy that came out fell flat, because there was so much more they could have done.
Yeah.
And all they did was kind of rehash old tropes, and that's what made Mandalorian so wonderful. Was they didn't. They were like, let's do something totally new.
They did, but they didn't put it in your face, kind of thing. It was like. So the people who aren't deep into Star Wars goes, oh, this is Star Wars. And the people who are deep into it would see a very specific droid leaning against the wall somewhere and flip out. Whereas in episode 9, no, not 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In episode 7, The Force Awakens, it was very, hey, remember me? Hey, look at me, and I'm Akbar, woo! And it was way shoved in your throat, which, however, member berries for that first part of the sequel trilogy was nice, and then the end fighting happened with the directors, and they were throwing punches at each other basically. By
a lot of things fell apart.
The minute Luke threw that lightsaber over his shoulder, it was like, oh boy, here we go. Have you seen the video someone made on YouTube where it's the end of 9 and Rey is talking to that old lady? And when she says, "What's your name?" and she says, "Rey," and she goes, "Rey what?" And she turns and looks, and the blue glowy of Luke and Leia show up. Well, instead of the blue glowy showing up, nothing's there. She's just looking off in the distance, and she turns her head back, and she goes, "Rey Palpatine." And it does a super cut of her back on that chunk of Death Star, where she's got the folding dual lightsaber and the jagged teeth and everything. And you hear the cackle, and the cackle like changes to feminine. It's like,
that's
my new empire. They do a VH1 behind the music, the Max Rebo band. I still say Max Rebo got blown to bits. Sorry, spoilers.
No, he was off that night. He was off that night.
Have you gone back and watched the episode just to see if you can hear the organ thing he's playing? Yeah.
No, he was off that night.
I won't kill your dream, Michael. I'll go back and watch the episode, but I won't tell you if he was there.
There was somewhere, I can't remember where it was, somebody I was watching where basically he survived again a major disaster, because he wasn't on, Jabba's sail barge either.
Right. Or also, and then like Jet Porkins was in. He got blown up twice in the original trilogy.
Did you tell?
It was Porkins, wasn't it? There was one of the pilots got blown up and then was like in the next movie.
Porkins wasn't.
Maybe it was another one then.
Porkins.
It wasn't Wedge.
The only one that survived both Death Stars was Wedge.
Yeah.
I want to say someone died in A New Hope, and then they were there in Empire. And it was like, wait, didn't your fighter get blown up during the battle? I don't know. I'll have to go back.
Why wasn't B. Arthur in the latest trilogy? You are so right, Curtis. You are right. We need to bring back B. Arthur and that guy who drinks by putting drinks down his head.
I like
Harvey Korman needs to come back.
I like Hal's question with
CGI Admiral Tarkin. We can CGI Harvey Korman.
Jefferson Starship. We need to bring the whole thing back.
Hal thinks they need to do a VH1 behind the music. No, they need to do pop-up video on the sequels. That would be amazing. Stacey, I agree with you completely. She could handle the role. The lady that did the voice for Sabine. Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting to see.
I was still a little bit disappointed that I love who they got to play Ahsoka, and for some reason her name is completely escaped.
Rosario Dawson.
I think she's fabulous. I love her. But I was kind of disappointed they didn't actually bring back the voice actress, because she could have also played her. Ashley?
Yeah, I don't know if she could have done the choreography, and I mean, she's great. Don't get me wrong.
Choreography would have been difficult.
If she was playing, so the Ahsoka that was like in the final episode of Clone Wars, that was like just calm and still and everything, that would have been neat to have seen her become Fulcrum. And she's not as active and everything. Also, I just found out too, I didn't know this, they actually got Ray Park back and a stunt person to do the lightsaber duel between Darth Maul and Ahsoka for the final season of Clone Wars. That was all motion cap.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
That's why that lightsaber duel looked the way it did, because it was all motion cap. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. It was good stuff.
Wow.
Misa Empire gonna rule? Yes. Somebody said we need to bring back Jar Jar Binks.
Oh God.
We did that already in the prequels whenever he makes a vote, and that's all we need to see.
He started the whole thing.
Or as Stacey says, maybe it can be in the sequel of Kenobi 2, to Obi to Kenobi.
Wow.
You guys are on fire, man. Hal, Curtis.
I'm loving it.
So, going from Star Wars to Star Trek.
I thought you were going to go to the other space one, the one that's in the thumbnail of the video today. But
my wife and I today saw the first episode of Strange New Worlds.
I haven't seen it yet. However, are you up to date on Picard?
I haven't watched the one that just came out yesterday.
Oh my God, Michael! You need to call me when you watch it.
I haven't seen the season finale. No,
I'm so
I haven't seen the season finale. But let me tell you, Strange New Worlds. If you are a TOS fan, you are going to love Strange New Worlds.
Are they doing episodic?
Yes.
Cool.
And it is, but of course, it's Pike, so it's right before.
It's a Pike Enterprise, right? Yeah.
And so they've still got the tricorder and the little flip communicators, and it's sci-fi, man. It is holding up a mirror to ourselves.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not space fantasy. It is science fiction. It's like, hey, this is what's wrong with you right now. Y'all need to fix this, but without, that's how sci-fi should work. It's truth telling.
Yeah.
And it tells the truth. And it's
wow.
Good. It's good storytelling, and with some incredible special effects, of course. But yeah, watch it. It's very, very good. I'm very thrilled.
Yeah, Picard, you and I are going to have a huge discussion after you've watched the finale of Picard.
There are some... you know what's funny?
Watch it before it's spoiled.
I did not... I was trying to figure out why... So, as far as I've gotten... Why Guinan had not met Picard.
Watch the episode. However, the person playing Guinan, amazing. I never, because sometimes when you watch something where they replace an actor or they use a younger one or an older one, it takes you a little bit to get over that hump. Nope, I bought it right away. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
And also because she was a different Guinan. Like this was Guinan in her youth.
Yes.
And she would have kicked your butt.
Cool.
Yeah, she would have not sat and listened to you. She would have kicked. Yeah.
She does that weird projection thing that I'm like, whoa, I didn't know Guinan could do that.
Right, yeah. But it hurt her. So maybe older Guinan can't do it. Because it did put a strain on her. What I also too, timeline-wise, because when they mention the Borg, she doesn't flip out. She didn't even, it just shows her in the background the first time they say the word Borg, and she's just like, oh, they said a word. Sounds Swedish, you know. Yeah, because you know what happened with Guinan and those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will be watching the finale very soon.
Watch it
hopefully
before
tomorrow
it's
night.
spoiled.
But I wanted to watch Strange New Worlds and
Yeah.
was not disappointed.
I didn't know it was out already. You're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, just started today. Just lighting headed today. What else is going on?
Woo!
How about that thumbnail?
Well, you know, the first thing on the list is a month ago, maybe they dropped Heroes of Krynn for 5e, Unearthed Arcana, and now last week, 10 days ago, something like that, we have a revision of that Heroes of Krynn that came out.
The Kinder lost his bag.
Yeah, and they made Kinder completely immune to frightened conditions.
Which a lot of people played them that way back in the day anyways. Just like, you know, whatever, I'm a Kinder, you can't scare me, you can't bring me down. He was the anti-gnome. I mean, but yeah, when they took the bag away, it's like, really?
I know. Like,
you can't just like reach in there and have a torch, reach in there and have rope, you know.
I do love the fact that they went back to kind of 1E origins, and we have, you know, Reox and the Rod and their gnomish, you know, offshoots. Like, I do really like that part of embracing the mythology that we know from first edition Dragonlance. But also, you know, at some point, Kinder can roll the 1 when they're at the Tower of High Sorcery and get freaked out.
Yeah.
So being totally immune to fear, I'm like, I just, you know, I don't know what the mechanic is, but anyway.
And of course, I mean, these are all, they're testing them.
True.
So they made the changes based off feedback. So if you think it should be changed again, you need to let them know in feedback.
Take the survey.
Take the survey, let them know, because they are listening to people. And that's the problem, is they listen to what, you know.
That's the problem. They're listening to you.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the wrong people. Listen to us.
And it'll still be a while before they come out with these. So it could change even again if the final version comes out.
You know, the new novel drops in August, and it would just be foolish to not do it right before or right after. Plus,
I think it's going to be
Gen Con is so it's kind of like, you know, there's the year, and then there's the fiscal year, and then there's the political year, etc. There's the gaming year, and New Year's Eve is the Wednesday before Gen Con.
And when is Gen Con?
Gen Con is usually the first week of August. Yeah, and that's when the releases come out, or the big announcements drop, or that's why.
And that's every year. They've always dropped in August. They've dropped the big game, the big adventure pass.
Because DDAL starts over in August.
Right.
The season does.
The season.
Yeah.
So we expect, and I don't think it's going to be Spelljammer, because that's only a short adventure. It's not going to be a full length adventure path. So I'm thinking it's going to be the Krynn thing is going to be the actual adventure path for August.
For August? That tracks. That's very, very possible.
Yeah. Well, Curtis, hopefully you'll be able to ask for all these things for your birthday. I know. Oh my gosh, it's already getting so expensive.
You mentioned save your money for August the other day. You mentioned that.
Right.
Well, and even now you're buying things on pre-sale, so it's like, I mean, you can buy them all on D&D Beyond now on pre-sale. That and Journeys to the Citadel, the
of light.
Radiant Citadel, Journeys to the Radiant Citadel.
Yeah, I know there's an R in there. How do you feel about this D&D Beyond thing?
I'm excited. I
like it.
I've heard some negatives. I know my dear friend Caleb. He's had some issues with how Wizards has treated Magic the Gathering, and feels like he's a little worried about it because of the way that. So, and I it's very possible. I don't know. I have to be optimistic. I have to be optimistic. I have to be hopeful, because otherwise I can just be a nihilistic,
All right. Yeah, I agree. It's like you always say. They just figured out that they own Dungeons and Dragons. Them owning D&D Beyond now I was always hesitant on buying anything on D&D Beyond, because it's like at any minute that license is going to get yanked, because a lot of the games that I play are licensed games, and I've gone through 4 different collectible / customizable card games for Star Wars. And right when they get cooking and they've got a good decent amount of expansions out and the game gets rolling and the tournament scene is hot locally, the license gets pulled. And mostly the license gets pulled because another game company with bigger money comes along and says, I want it. And it was like, okay, I'll take it away from them when the contract's up and give it to you. So you completely lose the game because they make their own version of the game.
Right.
And so I was like, this whole like licensing thing, it scares me. I want to buy all these D&D digital books. And then, Wizards or Hasbro is going to pull it away from Funtime or whatever they're called. And from D&D Beyond, and then where am I? I'm out of money, and I've got no books. So, but now I'm fully on board. Fully on board.
And I'm very excited. I'm excited for the future of D&D Beyond. I'm excited that they're keeping everybody on board with D&D Beyond, because regardless of how Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast feels about Dungeons and Dragons, the people of D&D Beyond care deeply about D&D and care deeply about making sure that the fans are taken care of.
It feels like people who play D&D said, hey, let's do a virtual tabletop company.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me, is that they kind of built it for themselves and then shared it with everyone.
Yeah, what would I want to see in a virtual D&D setup? Yeah. And that's what they've always done. They've done that for 5 years. I've loved D&D Beyond from the beginning. And also, of course, then I used to also go, hey, so proud of these kids for putting together this video online thing, and 5 years later selling it for $146 million.
Yeah.
That's everybody's dream.
Yeah.
You bet. And then you still get to pull a paycheck working, doing the thing that you wanted to do anyway. So, So there's some Dragonlance. This is going to be really dumb because I know the answer is yes in the back of my head, but there's some Dragonlance content that's coming to D&D Beyond virtually, right? Or digitally? Wasn't there a teaser about that?
I haven't paid attention to a lot of the...
I don't know. I do know that
I've been so
you
busy.
can get I think you can get the Unearthed Arcana for the Dragonlance on...
Well, they also do that Monster
That's
Compendium.
where my brain went.
They also do the Monster Compendium thing too, and so that'll be really cool. They start dropping more...
I've
free stuff.
I've read the Monster Compendium for Spelljammer, and it is awesome. And my characters on Saturday might be facing one of those characters in the Monsters Compendium coming up soon.
You're way too excited.
I know that laugh. I've done that exact hand wringing as I make plans for my Saturday game this Saturday. So.
Hopefully none of my Saturday group is here.
Aren't you guys like 10th, 11th level? 10th
they are
level?
They're 10th and 11th level. And they're going through barrier peaks, and they've already almost leveled out of it. They're only at level 4 on this thing, so...
Does it start with ball and end with Rog?
No.
No. I don't believe you. Like, no.
No, that may have been Brooks' foot in mouth ESP where I guessed the thing that I'm not supposed to say.
No. Why would you say that?
I don't think we're very good at guessing because Bathrobes F4 Tornado was not a Yuan-Ti.
Oh, God. Too soon.
I love reflecting. I know I bring it up a lot, but I love reflecting on it because I think they were trying to find out if maybe is it Dragonborn or Kobold. So the question was asked. I think Poppy or Kiri asked it. Does their face stick out a lot? No, it's flat. Their face is flat. It's got to be Yuan-Ti. No, my face is flat compared to asking if it juts out and I have a snout. My face is flat compared to that. But yeah, instantly it was just like, oh my god, it's Yuan-Ti. I was like, I mean, if that's the worst thing it is, then cool. we're fine. Oh, I wish it was a Yuan-Ti now.
Which reminds me, Curtis asked about what the Spelljammer hippo things were. I put down there the GIF.
The GIF.
Have any of you watched Moon Knight?
I've watched two episodes.
Yeah, when the hippo goddess comes out, my first thought was, oh my gosh, it's a GIF.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. The entire Egyptian mythology then, it's not really Stargate, it's Spelljammer.
That's it. Yes.
Tawret, the hippo goddess of fertility, is really...
Michael, is that you on the red dirt?
Yeah, I guess so.
That freaked me out.
Sorry, that was good. I guess I should put my actual character. Let's switch accounts here.
No, it's fine. It's fine that someone's on the red dirt. Yeah.
No,
threw me
off.
off.
Me too.
I was like, oh, cool, red dirt's here. Wait, I'm logged into red dirt. What the? Yeah. We're all in red dirt.
We're all in red dirt.
So I didn't look too deep into it, Brooke. I know that you did, and I'm sure Michael has probably checked it out. I watched a YouTube video that was talking about the Unearthed Arcana and the Kinder changes, and then I got busy. What do they do with all that feet explosion?
You know, I being a Pathfinder guy mostly because of 3.5, you know,
right.
And it brought me back into the fold, and I had a new love and stuff. But I saw an explanation video from Wizards of the Coast, and I really liked what he said. He said that these feats at first and fourth level. Okay, he didn't say it this way, but I'm going to say it this way. For me, they feel like Pathfinder campaign feats that you take at first level, where they give you, where you take this feat and it explains something about your background.
It helps with the specific campaign you're doing, not a general,
Yes,
class
feat, and so what Wizards kind of has done, if I make that correlation, is that instead of it being a feat you have to take at first level, there's also one at fourth that shows kind of your character growth. And again, it's tied to the world. Michael, in the video, the guy said that it's kind of like the feats of the Solamnic Knights or of the High Sorcery Towers. He said it's kind of like the dark gifts for Ravenloft. It just it reveals something that you have gained in experience or has revealed something about your background, and that made a lot of sense to me to have it that way. So I've always liked the feat idea, and this just really seemed to make it very 5e in my brain. So
yeah, the only problem with doing that is then you are giving up ASI, and I mean, truly, unless you're a fighter, you don't have many ASIs to waste on getting a feat. So, if they want to say, okay, your character gets this, then make that a character ability. Make that part of your class. Don't make it a feat that I have to get and forego increasing my ability score.
Do you think they're what Pathfinder would call bonus feats? Do you think you get to do both? If you're a Knight of Solamnia, you get this fourth level.
In which case, just make that a class thing.
Okay, very good.
Just
make it class instead of calling it
a class feature. Don't, I mean, that's great. But then okay, so I'm playing a regular fighter. You come along and you get an ASI and this special feat, like.
Right, but that special feat might simply be you now know how to read Troll. I mean, it's not an overwhelming, all-powerful, magnificent feat. Sometimes they hand them to you, and the feat is when under these like extreme circumstances you'll probably never meet in the next 3 campaigns you play, you can move 5 feet faster. They're not always like godlike feats.
Well, but these I mean, they're still pretty good feats. I mean, they're just normal feats, like you would just normally get a normal feat. Like you increase an ability score by 1,
right.
Unless you get to do this once per, as many times your proficiency levels, whatever. It's a feat, just like any other feat. But yes, if it was just hey, you get to walk 5 feet faster.
Right. You can climb a ladder in less time or something, yeah.
Yeah, these are just like, these are feats that are in line with Great Weapon Master. These are feats that are in line with Warcaster. I mean, these are incredible feats that they have in the Kryn. So,
oh yeah.
But again, saying that you have to take them in lieu of getting an ASI seems, it just seems, I don't know, it just seems really weird. Make them part of a class feature. Of your subclass feature.
Yeah.
The only argument I have against that is if I want that feat, then I have to build this character this way and this way only. If it's a feat I can just buy, then I can build any character I want and have that ability.
But then doesn't that take you away from what you're trying to do, is make this character part of this campaign and make it that build? I mean, that's why you do a subclass. So it'd be like going, oh, well, I'm a fighter, but I want to take the class feature of Warlock at 10th level. Well, you can't, because you're not a Warlock. You're a fighter. So, I'm a magic user, or I'm a cleric, but hey, I'll take this fighter feat, the Nisus Solamnia feat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how? Now you're just breaking the game to take something that doesn't fit for the whole thing. So again, throw it into a subclass feature, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
Right. I see.
Which kind of that fits in really well with the idea of we've got a world here. This is Kryn. It's not Ratoya or Earth or Faerun, and so, for example, the Kinder thing, they kind of nerfed them a little bit now, and we'll see if the pendulum swings back the other way. In first edition, everybody wanted to play a Kinder. They were just incredible. They had these things going on for them. Now, without the bag, and a couple of the other things, and the taunt's not affecting everybody. The taunt can only affect one person in the current tweak.
Yeah.
Halflings are still better. So, of course, halflings aren't on Kryn, so you can't play one. You're doing, quote unquote, you can't play one. So
yeah. Well, and I think it's races or lineages or ancestry, however we want to put it, it should be fairly generic. They shouldn't be OP in any way. And I think the Kinder was a little bit, the way it originally was a little bit too OP.
That's true.
And immediately people went, that's a little too strong. And that's why they had to kind of pull it. They did nerf it, but that's only because they nerfed it down to something that's more manageable for a dungeon master and not pulling his hair out at level 2.
Any first edition dungeon master that played in Kryn knows exactly what you're talking about.
I knew a dungeon master who abused his one of the players was playing a Kinder. He abused him in favor of everyone. Like someone died and the Kinder is like leaning over them crying, and the DM was like, and one of your tears falls on their cheek, and suddenly they gasp for air and they're back.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because the DM didn't want this person to have to go through making a new character, and they wouldn't, and they were the healer. And it's like, well, you're probably not going to make a healer, then the party's going to be without a healer. So yeah, when you cried and it hit her cheek, she was back, and everybody was happy, and it was cool. And but then of course the Kinder's running around trying to cry on everything that's dead.
a squirrel gets hit by a car. Oh, poke yourself in the eye and cry over it.
It's got to be real tears. Everyone knows that. Like, the rejuvenation kiss has to be a kiss of true love. And the tear has to be a real heartfelt tear. That's how magic works. Everybody knows that.
Right. You have to mean it, Harry. How the moment I said feet explosion, I regretted it. The moment I said feet explosion, I was like...
When you asked him about that, you said, "What, did they do something about the feet explosion?" I'm like, wait, somebody's feet are exploding?
Right, and then we've got, of course, we got Hal, yay! I explained over. I'm like, oh yeah, Hal made a feet joke. Oh, another one, and there's another one from Card. Okay. I like it.
Instead of the Kraken, we've released the comedian.
We've released the feet, with a feet that has feet that gives you more feet. Yep. All right.
I think my only other Dragonlance revision note was on again feet. Out of the black robe, they took away the alignment restriction. And I get it, but at the same time, it's Kryn, boys and girls.
Yeah. But modern D&D is trying to do away with alignment.
Yeah. Yes. So.
Michael, watch Picard. Sorry,
I've only missed the last episode. Man, I should have watched that one.
Picard went the way of D&D. That's all I'm going to say. We'll talk about it later. It'll be a round table.
That sounds really scary.
We'll talk about it in 2 weeks. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
We'll talk about 2 weeks.
I'll have watched it by then.
Yeah. So, have we covered everything? Bye.
Woohoo! We haven't talked about the fact that you are in a new room.
I'm lit up, and this is my whole face. You're not just seeing half my face masked in shadow. Yeah, I've moved.
I know.
I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live.
In the Underdark.
But I've left Moore, Oklahoma, and I'm currently living in Oklahoma City, basically in the Plaza District. So find me, and I'll give you a broken D20.
How far are you from Literary Press and those guys?
Brooke, when I saw you on the sidewalk that day,
hell yeah,
I can see that sidewalk from my porch.
Wow,
that's where I live.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I can see that sidewalk from my porch.
I would weigh 300 pounds if I lived that close to the Empire.
In fact, we parked. We parked and went back to see if you were still standing there. Talked on the phone to Germs, who's not here tonight. I saw Brooks. There was a Brooks sighting last week.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. Did we get enough Spelljammer talk out of the way?
Okay. What else were we talking about? We're talking about.
Did you get a Spelljammer?
Other games we play.
We did have a note about what's your vision of Spelljammer sci-fi, but I don't know if that's the segue you want to make or not. So,
well, it's like so in this new Spelljammer, how are you going to go to another planet? Through a plane or on a space airplane? So there's not going to be starship combat. There's not going to be, because it's just planar travel.
Right.
But could you go to a world in a homebrew game that is high tech? Would you put your barbarian in the Devon Tower with a laser gun and a cell phone?
Maybe he'd know how to operate. He's got to make type of skill check, right?
And he might eat it. That's just the possibilities I've been thinking of. It's like, you can go to another. I've been thinking of it in the Star Wars way, where it's like, this is the planet that's full of monsters, and this is the planet that's full of poisonous flowers, and every planet's just got one ecosystem,
Yeah.
But it's like, oh wait, what about the planet of the people with no mouths because they all talk through telepathy and feed off photosynthesis, but they have laser guns. So you pick up some laser guns while you're there, and then you come back to wherever you're from, and now you're. It can be easily abused in home games. That's going on.
That's going on right now in my Saturday group. They are running around with laser. I got fighters and druids. I got a bear with a laser gun. I got a druid bear with a laser gun.
So that is the Barrier Peaks that's updated for 5th edition, yes?
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
put out by Goodman Games, Original Adventures Reincarnated, and it's a lot of fun. It is especially fun for me to go back to that. I first originally took them through Isle of Dread and Keep on the Borderlands, and now they're up to Barrier Peaks.
Barrier Peaks in 1E was a weird adventure. Like, it had some weird moments.
Well, this one's got it's got another level to it. They've added new monsters, they've added new stuff. It's a lot of fun, but still stays very true to the original. And that's what I really love about it. It just updates it for 5e mechanics.
Yeah. Now, do characters have to make any type of, like, insight/intelligence check to figure out, like a lightsaber right in the head? How does this thing work?
Right. And so that's what they actually did. They broke the first piece of armor they found because the paladin immediately went up and wanted to use it, rolled a 1 on their check and destroyed it. So, but now that they realized, oh, hey, maybe we should give everything to the artificer.
No.
And who's easily able to make his intelligence rolls to figure these things out. So, yeah, and then once you know what to do with it, then you can teach someone else, and then you get advantage on your intelligence roll. Plus, of course, if you use guidance, that'll help you as well. So they figured out how to learn things.
Yeah.
And that's great. I want them to be able to have these things because they're limited. They have power discs, which run out. So it's not like they can keep using these for the rest of the campaign. There's only so much time they can use them. So.
Brooke, what is the place in Galorium called?
It is the Iron Gods Adventure Path, and it is Numeria.
Numeria, yes, where UFOs crash landed. Isn't that the lore behind it? UFOs crash landed, so there's tech there.
I thought maybe it might be very Barrier Peaks inspired. I know that definitely there's some. Is it Starstone material? There's a meteorite that crashed there for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know Numeria very well because I've kind of tried to stay DM dumb about it in case I ever get to play there.
Yeah, I don't want to play there. I don't want chocolate in my peanut butter.
Well, there's a spaceship in Icewind Dale. The Frost Maiden that came out.
There's in the Pathfinder 2 in the first adventure path they released, which I played through and I can't remember the name of it now. Age of Ashes. You go into a prison to free somebody, but while you're in there, you find one of the new playable alien races from Starfinder imprisoned with amnesia and doesn't know how he got there or where he's from. But his description and his art is the four-armed. Whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's them.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's weird because I love the idea of Spelljammer, but I am also very much like if I want to play a sci-fi game, I'll play a sci-fi game. Right, So,
yeah, I don't want my ranger or wizard running around with and tech. I'll play Shadowrun for that. I have enough D6s to play Shadowrun, so I'll play that. Yeah.
Michael, that's a good thing in Barrier Peaks where they, basically the laser rifle has a battery, and once it runs out or has charges,
you can't use it again. So that's the whole point of it. Is this they won't be able to carry them for the rest of their campaign. It's just good for this, and it's a lot of fun, and especially their reactions when they walked into the spaceship and went, "Why is everything metal? Why is this cave metal?" Like, oh, I don't know, and they said. Oh, they got into a fight with the Vegapygmies. There's 300 of them, and I actually had to run that battle. Oh, it was insane.
Why didn't they find the flamethrower?
But it's fun. They're about to get to the level with all the plants and the arboretum, basically, and the life form, so I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Someone's gonna die.
Oh yeah.
In the Arboretum.
Well, and they already went up against a intellect devourer, because there's an intellect devourer on the 10th level. And
wow.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're 10th, 11th level. An intellect devourer, they can easily take that.
And they don't stray very far from their masters, though.
Yeah, so I found
there's going to be a mind flayer around.
Yeah, I found a homebrewed giant intellect devourer. That almost killed one of my characters.
Ow. Wow.
Oh.
Like Brooks pulling out some Dr. Friss. Someone asked.
No, Curtis mentioned Dr. Friss.
Oh. Someone, I was listening to the most recent episode today, finishing it off since it's 2.5 hours long, of Glass Cannon, and someone asked Troy a question, and I so wanted him to answer it with satisfactory. That's gonna be one of the best characters best NPC he's ever come up with. That and Mama Fats. What else do you want?
I'm still an old school fan of Tom Exposition.
Tom Exposition. Well, when you guys are rolling.
Speaking of a rising tide lifting all boats, right? The Glass Cannon podcast, they're fantastic. Their language is a little harsh, but they're really, really fun. They really embody 4 or 5 folks around the table that are just having a great D&D game.
Yeah.
Only it's Pathfinder, but they're really great. So
some of them have actually played D&D. Troy LaValle got on Twitch and had people help him make a D&D character for a charity event. Yep. That's good stuff. When you guys aren't playing D&D, what are you playing?
I don't have anything. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Monday is the one day you're not doing a D&D thing. Is that right?
Yeah. So Sundays, say Friday nights I play D&D. Saturday nights I play D&D. Wednesday nights I play D&D because I play Secrets of Monster Island. Get that ready for the YouTube. And then Tuesdays and every other Thursday I'm talking about D&D. Now I've played Shadowrun. I've played, and I enjoyed that. I wish I could have played that a little bit more. I played Star Wars, and I really enjoyed that. I loved the storytelling through the dice. I thought that was really neat.
Narrative dice are cool if they're used right. Yeah. Yeah,
and I love the fact that it's not just the DM or the GM who's doing the storytelling. It's the players. If you roll, okay, you succeeded on your skill, but you had a failure in some way.
Yeah, 5 threats.
Yeah, the GM says, what happened to you? And that way you go, okay, well, this is what happened. So that way you're telling the story. So everybody at the table is telling the story. Regardless, I think that's what we do for Red Dirt D&D. I think it's what good D&D podcasts do anyway. But for a table just to sit around and do that, I think it was and I enjoyed it. So I've played that one. I've wanted to play the Middle Earth. There's a 5e version of Middle Earth out there that just recently came out. Would love to play that.
Yeah,
Stacy might know about that.
Yeah. There's also going to be a Doctor Who 5e.
Oh yeah, and a Blade Runner. No, it's not 5e. It's just RPG, but
right. And well, that's the thing is Doctor Who and Middle Earth both have their own RPG systems. But Middle Earth has just recently come out with a 5e version, and Doctor Who is about to come out with a 5e version as well. And so it's using 5e's mechanics to do Doctor Who, and I'm like, I'm there.
Initiative.
I see what you did there.
I want to see the stats for a Dalek. I want to see a 5e stats for a Dalek. 5e stats for a Cyberman.
Cybermen.
We
already got Mind Flayers with the Ood.
Yeah. I might buy the book so I could just throw a Dalek at my players.
Never. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, be very, very careful if Michael Cross ever invites you to his Spelljammer game, because you're gonna run into.
Out jumps a guy in a fedora and a big long scarf, and right behind him is a pepper shaker.
What would be amazing is you
and an egg beater.
You come
exterminate.
You come around the corner and there's a mind flayer standing there, and you freak out, and he reaches in and pulls out a glowing ball, and it's just an ood, just chilling.
How may I serve you?
How may I? Yeah.
And of course, as D&D players, we all think it's a mind flayer, so we shoot it.
Right. I want to see. I just want to see D&D players up against Weeping Angels.
Oh. That's the thing to do. You just take the D&D 5e monsters and you can just pit them against each other at your house. Just you and the dice.
Yeah.
Pew pew. Like that. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Does that mean you couldn't have Weeping Angel minis then, because that'd be really scary and bad?
Oh.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
My God, that would be amazing. Facing
I'm
them.
tell your wife just like to move them every day. You know.
That episode, Don't Blink, was one of the first ones of the New Who that truly, it scared me.
I watched it at home, alone, at night, not knowing what was coming. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm a grown man and I almost didn't go to sleep.
Because they are the most horrifying creatures. They send you back in the past and you live out your life. You've lost everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
such a great.
To me, the most terrifying
weeping
Weeping Angel moment was when Amy Pond was watching one on TV.
Yes.
And she turns around and it's like, this thing can't come through, can it? It's like, no, it can't come through. And she turns back around and there it is.
Yeah.
The angels have the phone box.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just crazy. It's such a good. And then, of course, spoilers. Amy Pond, Weeping Angels. So
that moment.
I just love it, and I hate it.
Still, to this day, I will cry my eyes out. Then I see that scene.
That is probably my favorite Who arc of all time. Is Amy and Rory and the Doctor. It's probably my favorite.
I've got to say, the moment Who that made me bawl wasn't. I said bawl, cry. It wasn't the beach.
There was a slip there.
It was a Freudian lisp. Okay, yeah.
You were wrapped in a blanket.
It's a shot, and I used to have this as my wallpaper, not as my profile pic on Facebook, and other people would put the other part of the picture on theirs and comment on mine. But it's when Rose is on one side of the wall with her cheek pressed against her hand up, and the Doctor's on the other side of the wall. Oh, I got chills just saying it. Yeah. That was a heartbreaking moment right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spoilers.
We do get
spoilers, sweetie.
We do thanks to pulling the power off of a dead sun, though. We do get a little bit of closure, and then not.
What was the line? I destroyed a sun. I destroyed a star to see you again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sucking off the power of a star that was going to die anyway, or something like that.
Rose Tyler.
To see you again. So.
Yeah.
Bad Wolf.
And yes, the whole Rose Tyler and that last moment when he says Rose Tyler and
you were
fades out.
Well, even the Eccleston Doctor. When he says Rose Tyler, you were fantastic, and you know what?
You know what?
So was I.
So was I.
Yeah.
Yes. But actually, to this day, my favorite line is actually David Tennant's first one. New teeth. That's weird. Oh yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, Barcelona.
So many great moments in Doctor Who. I like the whole his regeneration when he's like, "What kind of man am I?" And then he sword fights the bad guy off the ship and says, "That's the kind of man I am." Right on. The Narnia one was a Christmas one, yeah. All the Christmas ones were good.
Yeah, the Christmas ones are really good. Christmas Carol one, that's really good.
The Christmas Carol one when she is singing. Oh, that makes me. I just like tears. Like, so gorgeous.
I also loved when the Doctor knew he was going to regenerate, and he ends up in a bar with Captain Jack. Well, Captain Jack gets a note because he's talking to the guy. And he gets a note, opens it up, and it says his
name's Alfonso.
His name's Alonzo.
Alonzo.
And he closes the note, and he looks across the bar, and he sees the Doctor just walk out. And I was like, oh, Doc, yeah. Captain Jack Harkness. You know what's too bad about Doctor Who? That they didn't make any more after Matt Smith left.
Oh, you're kidding me. Did you not really care for them? How long did you watch for? Because the first season of Peter Capaldi
Peter Capaldi was good. I like Peter Capaldi except for the whole thing where he was stuck in a handbag. And there was an episode where he was literally stuck in a handbag, and it was the Clara show.
The first season was not good.
Yeah, it was the Clara show.
But second and third one, when they finally figured out Capaldi's voice, and could write to it. Oh, the second season of Capaldi is one of the best of New Who. Mm-hmm. It is every episode. I was thinking surely it's going to, because almost doesn't matter. You can go all the way back to the original. Every season has its, oh my gosh, they should never have made.
Oh, the Eccleston episodes with the aliens that had to shrink down into human skin, and so they released gas, and they were fart. The whole episode was a fart joke. Yeah, it was.
Yes.
But no,
the second season of Capaldi, there's not one. There's not a bomb in that entire.
Yeah, and I liked his companion after Clara left. What was her name? Bob. Bill. Yes, I liked Bill a lot.
Bill was fabulous. My disappointment was Bill and
from Game of Thrones.
The guy who played Matt. What?
Yeah, I don't remember his name. He was good. Yeah.
Yes, but yes, I enjoyed that season. Unfortunately, they only lasted for one season. I was kind of disappointed in that, and so I did try. I watched the Jodie Whittaker ones, and I thought they were good, but they were all. I could never watch them. So
they were all on Earth, and they were almost all right now. And it's like, no, I want to see you go to the end of time and watch the sun explode, or go visit the planet of the Oods, or go to the birth of the Daleks.
I'm an old Doctor Who fan, so when you watch the John Pertwee ones, that's all they ever were. We're on Earth right now.
Right, yeah. But what we would come into with the new ones was it was modernized, and it was a higher budget, and it was out for adventure, and then it seems like it lost that after Capaldi.
Yeah, I just didn't get a chance to watch them. So
yeah.
I really can't say that. I would like to have. I've enjoyed the character that they created for Whittaker. I think I'm actually very disappointed in Chris Chibnall, who was the showrunner for Jodie Whittaker. I don't think, and I was so excited about him because he was an old school Doctor Who fan, and I thought, great, this will be fantastic, and it just never. Mm-hmm. He really couldn't run the show. Because I thought Jodie Whittaker was fine. The cast was fantastic. The companions were great. Jodie Whittaker was great.
She had too many.
The shows. No, you can have. Again, Peter Davison ran around with Adric, Tegan, and Nyssa, and K9. We actually didn't run K9. K9 wasn't with them at that time, but still, they had a bunch of them, and Turlo. I mean, there were tons of companions for Peter Davison. So it wasn't that. You could have those they had great companions, great Doctor. I don't think Chris Chibnall could really. I don't think he was up to what Stephen Moffat and RDR can do.
Moffat is coming back on here, but so
no, he was crazy.
No, Rusty T. Davies.
Oh, Rusty Davies. That's right. Yeah, Rusty Davies did great stuff.
Yeah. He brought back Doctor Who. If it hadn't been for him, we would not have Doctor Who right now anyway.
Right.
So, I'm very excited. I think I'd like him to bring Stephen Moffat back to do some writing. I don't think Stephen Moffat was at his greatest when he was show running. Stephen Moffat was at his greatest when he was writing Doctor Who. Because he's the one who did Don't Blink. Mm-hmm. And some of the greatest Doctor Who episodes in the Russell T Davies era were written by Stephen Moffat. So that's why they made him a showrunner. And I'm like, I don't think he was ever that great as a showrunner. I mean, I loved Matt Smith, loved Peter Capaldi. But boy, when Stephen was writing, those are some great episodes.
That's the golden age.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Russell T Davies coming back, and I'm hoping that Stephen Moffat comes back and writes a few episodes along with Neil Gaiman. I think Neil Gaiman wrote some great
Oh
episodes.
God, we got to meet the TARDIS because of Neil Gaiman.
I know. Did you wish really hard?
It's me. I go woo woo woo. Because you left the brake on.
Because you left the brake on, sweetie.
Yeah.
How come it doesn't make that sound? Oh, yes, Doctor's wife. One of my favorite, like, how did they do that moments, right? And it's probably us as viewers noticing something that was completely different. But there is a moment before Matt Smith and River Song, right? And she's always adjusting his bow tie, right? And so before I'm going to get my orders mixed up in my brain all of a sudden, but before Matt Smith, right? River Song meets, and she walks up to the Doctor, who this version of the Doctor doesn't wear a bow tie, and this is before the Doctor started to wear a bow tie.
The Silence in the Library?
Yeah, I think.
I love
and she walks up to him and reaches out.
No way.
She totally does. She totally reaches out as if, and then stops, and because there's no bow tie there. And it's before they even did the bow tie episodes.
I've got to watch that again now.
Oh yeah, it's
I did not even catch
there.
that.
It's 100% there, and I just about went. I don't know if I have no idea. I have no idea.
Because you know it's really great. Watch the final episode of her with Peter Capaldi. That final episode they do, and then go back and watch Silence in the Library. That two-parter again.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good because that's just such good writing to be able to write toward something that you've already written and done and is in the can. George Lucas could have taken some lessons from how do you write a prequel. How do you write for something without destroying everything you've already done?
Yeah.
Let's see. I said Yoda trained Obi-Wan, so let's get this Qui-Gon guy over here. It'll work. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just basically destroy everything I said in the first 3 movies.
Gentlemen, I have to go.
Yes, you do.
Oh, that's true. You've got a date with a sectional or something like that.
Oh, that sounded much dirtier than it probably should have.
What the hell did he say? I don't know. Yeah, I invited him. I'll talk to him later. Yeah, I gotta get a couch. That's gonna become my shtick. Is turning off the camera, but not the mic. That's gonna become my thing.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brooke Bullock.
And Michael Gross.
And Johnny Payne.
Yeah.
All right.
Our incredible chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. Rowan Atkinson is Doctor Who. I'm gonna check that out.
Oh, you can find. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's one of the best Doctor Who's ever. He's fabulous.
We're gonna come back in 2 weeks with a top 3.
Yes,
We're bringing the top 3s back now that we've got our bearings here on the YouTubes.
Yeah, we've got an idea. But if anybody has an idea of any top 3 we need to do, let us know. Hit us up.
Jump on our Discord.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you on.